All right, thank you for tuning into this presentation. My name is Lucas Cook, and this is regarding the paper titled An Accurate Method of Determining Conductor Short Circuit Withstand Capability. So as far as, background here, any renewable energy project these days, whether it's wind, solar, battery energy storage, it's necessary to perform conductor and concentric wire short circuit withstand calculations for the medium voltage collection system cable. This is done in accordance with these two ICEA standards here. Now, one of these deals with conductor, phase conductor, and the other deals with the concentric wire. And what these equations give you is the ability to determine either the amount of time that a conductor can withstand a given fault current, or the fault current that a conductor can withstand for a particular time, and that time being clearing time of your fault scenario. Now, one shortfall of these standards is they don't really clarify what fault current to plug in. For example, your power system software gives you symmetrical momentary, half cycle asymmetric, half cycle peak. What do we plug in here? And what this paper gets at is the fact that in the industry, we typically use the symmetrical fault current right out of the power system software without any consideration of X over R of the asymmetric nature of the fault current. So basically the paper gets at the fact that we do need to be considering this, and I'll expand on that, on why. To add a little bit more color, quite literally, to the problem, most renewable energy projects have main power transformers, or MPTs, which transform the collection system voltage from 34.5 kV typically to transmission voltage anywhere from 69 kV to 345 kV or higher. And these main power transformers typically have very large, or can have very large, X over R ratios. This, of course, depends on transformer design, manufacturer, and size. But a lot of projects these days, especially the wind projects, have very large transformers in excess of 200 MVA top rating. So, and as we know, the higher the rating of your transformer, the higher the X over R typically. Now, the graph on the right here is an example asymmetric RMS fault current characteristic. It starts around 17 kA and decays down to 10 kA. Now 10 kA is what you would get out of your power system software for the symmetrical momentary current. And this is what most in the industry would plug into these withstand calculations. Now, you can clearly see here, by doing that, you're only accounting for the blue area under the curve. But what about the red area? This is a RMS fault current pattern right here. So the red area is more than capable of contributing energy, heat, to the conductor for those first few cycles that it takes to decay. Now the paper goes through the actual derivation, but sort of the punchline here is this final equation. It is an equivalent current that you can use to basically plug in one current value to the ICEA equations and be assured that you've accounted for X over R ratio. That is to say that the asymmetry of the fault current. So this equation is dependent on time in seconds, which is your clearing time, and the X over R of your fault current. And of course your symmetrical fault current, which would be the one we're currently using in the industry, or mostly using, that you would get straight from your power system software. Now, This paper goes on to compare 3 different methods of fault current calculations, and compare the final results to cable size on a project. So the 3 methods considered here would be symmetrical method, which is what we currently do, or what many people currently do, just using the fault current right out of the software. And my point of this paper is that this may undersize cables, may not, but there's a good chance that it may. The equivalent method, which is the equation I derived, and which I claim is the most accurate way to do it. And finally, just plugging in the half-cycle asymmetric RMS fault current from Power System software, or you can calculate that yourself, of course. But this one I found to be overly conservative. And this can be seen pretty clearly here in the 2 tables. I took 2 sample 300 megawatt projects and used the 3 different methods on them to size the cables and compare them to each other. So the cable sizes you see on the left are typical for the renewable industry. Now the base case column is just the cable lengths in feet if you had not considered any short circuit upsizing, so based purely on ampacity. And then the 3 methods follow after that. The key here, though, is to compare the symmetrical column to the equivalent column. For project A, when we just use the symmetrical fault current, you see we have about 411 k-feet of 1/0. Now, when we go to the equivalent method, this gets reduced and 4/0 increases by the same amount. So we've shown here that we've actually undersized about 20,000 feet of cable that could be potentially exposed to a short circuit event and not survive. Looking at project B here, you see it is even more severe. We have 1/0 that gets upsized to 4/0 and some 4/0 that gets upsized to 500. So it's pretty clear here that the equivalent method, the more accurate method, can result in larger cable sizes on your project. And the benefit of this is you can be assured that you won't destroy cable for a particular fault on those undersized segments. And of course, if you compare both of these to the half-cycle asymmetric method, it's clear that the asymmetric method oversizes the cables significantly and is likely not the best approach. So in terms of final conclusions here, my claim is that the X over R should be considered when performing these withstand calculations, and that it is important to keep in mind the actual impact of the X over R on these cable quantities depends on a lot of things, including the system topology, the actual X over R, the X over R of the main power transformer, and the cable sizes. But I do recommend that the ICEA standards be updated to clarify which current value should be used in order to truly account for the thermal loading which a conductor could experience during a short circuit event. Thank you for tuning into this presentation.